Hey, I just wanted to hop on here before you get any further into today's video lesson. I just want to let you know, this lesson and any of the lessons in this new series, I'm calling it something like the Beginner Backbeat series, or Beginner Backbeat Groove series, or something like that. Every video in this series is specifically tailored to beginner drummers, or new-ish drummers, or drummers who really haven't played much. Maybe they've played a little bit, but they've never really studied backbeat grooves. This series is for them. So, or for you, maybe that's you watching. So if you're an advanced or even an intermediate player, this series is probably gonna be nothing good for you. I mean, not nothing good for you, but it's probably not what you're looking for. You probably already know all this stuff. So before you, if you're advanced or intermediate, begin spending more time watching this video, you may not need to. You probably don't need to. You probably know all this stuff, so you can skip it. Now, if you're a beginner and you're still watching, hey, I am so happy you're here, and I'm really excited for you to jump into the rest of this lesson. Also, before you go any further, I want you to click the link in the description below. Not for me, but for you. It's a free PDF of the drum charts of each of the grooves that I'm going to be demonstrating in this video. So it doesn't help me out at all. I could care less. It's for you. You need that in order to actually practice these grooves. This lesson is going to be, I think, really helpful for you, but the biggest takeaway, even if you don't watch the rest of this lesson, is that you get that PDF, download it to your phone or your tablet or your computer, or print it out and throw it up on your music stand, get behind your drum kit and start playing the grooves on that page. If that's all you take away from today, that's what I want for you. Every lesson in this series is going to have a drum chart PDF in the description below, so always grab it. Also, I'm going to include a drum PDF for how to read drumming notation. So if you're completely new, like if this is the first time you're ever picking up a pair of sticks and you just got a drum kit or something like that, or you made a drum kit out of pots and pans, or you're playing a bunch of pillows, or you're using a practice pad, whatever it may be, if you have no idea how to read drum notation, there's a second PDF below for you. Again, neither of those PDFs help me at all. If you click them, it doesn't benefit me, but it does benefit you. And I want to give those two things to you for free. So please click those links before you go any further in this video. All right, that's enough. I think that's everything. If it's not, hopefully I cover it in the rest of this video. I'm just so excited that you're here. Again, if you're advanced or intermediate and you're still watching this, I don't know why, unless you're just enjoying it. Hey, cool, happy you're here. This video is for you newer drummers out there. All right, cool. Let's get started with the lesson. Here we go. Hey there. Okay, so let's dive into today's lesson. Today, we're talking about backbeat grooves, but we're changing what the right hand is doing. So in the first backbeat groove lesson, we started playing eighth notes, and then we did a bass drum variations lesson where we continued playing eighth notes in the hi-hat. Now we're gonna play only quarter notes in the hi-hat. So that means that you're not playing when we count and. So if you're counting, like, for example, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, now you're only playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's all your right hand is doing in the hi-hat. The thing to keep in mind is I encourage you to count eighth notes the whole time. So 1 and 2 and the whole time, because our kick drum, bass drum, whatever you want to call it, pattern is going to be centered around a lot of eighth notes. And if we're not counting the space between the numbers, between the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we may lose our place in the meter, in the timing of things. So counting eighth notes, whether that be out loud or in your head, is super helpful. Other than that, these 23 grooves are identical to the 23 grooves we played in the first backbeat beginner lesson. So that's helpful. So you're already familiar with what the right foot is going to be doing. You're already familiar with what the snare drum, our left hand, is going to be doing. Now, I haven't mentioned this in the first two beginner backbeat lessons, but whatever we do with our right hand on the hi-hat, you can also play these grooves but move your right hand over to your ride cymbal. I totally encourage you to do that. It's good to train your body to have the cross, cross pattern, meaning like your right hand is crossed over your left, playing the hi-hat, because that's a specific feeling. But it's another specific feeling to get into this open position, because our ride cymbal is typically, to the other side of our where our hi-hat is, in the opposite direction. And it's another feeling to play the ride cymbal like this. And so for every groove we're doing in this beginner backbeat series, even though the notation may be only on the hi-hat line, or maybe even it's only on the ride cymbal line, you can play the right hand notes on the hi-hat or on your ride cymbal. Definitely give that a try. All right, so without further blabbering away from me, let's jump into the demonstration. You're gonna hear me, just like the first two lessons, you're gonna hear me play about 4 measures for each of these 23 grooves. There might be some variation in there. I might take some liberties occasionally, but just follow along on your PDF, and then I'll pop back in before the end of the lesson. All right, enjoy. Well, there you have it. That's the quarter note backbeat grooves. And so like I said, hopefully you were counting eighth notes while you were playing, even though your right hand is only playing quarters. Remember, you can do both hi-hat and ride cymbal, for each groove. I encourage you to do that. It's really, really helpful. You might be saying, well, why? What's the big deal? Not only is it helpful from like a physical perspective, but most songs, the drummer is playing on the hi-hat for a portion of the song and then also the ride cymbal. So we want to get comfortable switching between the two. So each of the 23 grooves play on the hi-hat, but also play on the ride cymbal. As I mentioned in the other backbeat lessons, definitely, if you need to freestyle this at first and piece it together nice and slowly, please do that, meaning without the metronome. Once you start to get a feel for it, plug it into the metronome. And as I mentioned in the first lesson, I like to use the metronome a slow tempo, a medium tempo, and then a fast tempo. And that's going to be different for every one of you out there. You don't have to do exactly what you see me doing. You don't have to play exactly at whatever tempos I mentioned. But just pick something that's very slow and challenging for you, something that's kind of like a mid-tempo, like a moderate, kind of comfortable tempo, and then pick a fast tempo for you. So that's 3 different ways you can play all 23 of these grooves. But it's even twice the amount if you consider playing 3 different tempos on the hi-hat and the ride cymbal. So it's 6 different ways for each groove. That's awesome. That's amazing. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. As always, if you have any questions, just drop a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you enjoyed this video, do all the YouTube-y things, hit the like button, share it with other aspiring drummers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would be so grateful if you would. And maybe hit that notification bell so you stay up to date, all the YouTube-y blah, blah, blah things. It just helps. It helps grow the channel, your support, your little action of hitting one of those buttons. It really does help. So anyway, thank you for being here. I hope this lesson was helpful, and I hope you have a very blessed day.